Alrighty, here we are. We're setting up for YouTube and Facebook live streaming as we speak. So if you're in the Zoom room right now, you can follow along with closed captions and you can also follow along with Wordly. But if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you won't be seeing that. So the Wordly app can be used. It's in the chat. Feel free to use that to stay on track with the languages and so forth. Now, it's my pleasure today to kick off Members Night to introduce you to our Vice President of Sales, Sergio Delamora. Over to you, buddy.
Hey, Michael and everybody, good to see you. I saw some wonderful people like Kevin Davids using the mist. I actually just used some of the mist myself before the call. Greetings to Prue, to Camille, all the people I can see here, Phoebe. It's nice to be able to connect this evening. And yes, Aaron, thank you. That song is beautiful. We appreciate the opportunity to listen to that. Now, before we get started, I do want to give you a heads up. Today's call will run a little longer than usual, but it's for a good thing. It's not every members night where we can get the executive team together and just talk about a lot of the things that are going on here at Neumi. So just brace for that, but it's all good content. And this should be available also for playback on YouTube. So if you miss anything that you want to go back to, you'll have access to it. But what is something, a new month to start without recognizing the recent rank advancements? So fresh from the printer, let's go ahead and take a moment to recognize our brand new rank advancements for the month of July, which includes 2 brand new diamonds. Wow, a round of applause to all these new rec advancements. That's so exciting. I recognize a lot of those names and a lot of new 1 stars. Way to go, everybody. And who's next? Are you next to rank advance? If you are ready to rank advance, this is definitely the time to rank advance for the very first time to a brand new rank. And if you are not planning to have that possibility at the moment, but want to take advantage of the reset rank promotion, now it's the time to do it. So take advantage of that. The next 2 months, you have that incentive, and it's very easy to work with and understand. In your back office, you now have the calculation for those that are taking advantage of the reset or where you stand that calculated between January to June of this year. If you have any questions, please reach out because we want to make sure that we can take full advantage of this promotion with all of the things we have going on. So we believe in you, and we know that you can really take advantage to the fullest. This is just the beginning of finishing out this year strong and already going into the next one. I can tell you that from our meetings, even today, we're already planning out what we're doing through the rest of the year into next year and so forth. So now I will take the time to share a recorded message from our CEO that he recorded for you. And he wanted just to remind you of what he talked about when we were at Summit and kicked off. So I will welcome him now with this pre-recorded message, and then we have the privilege to hear from our Chief Innovation Officer, who is Mr. Bert Winnicott, a wonderful man. I'm privileged to call him my friend, and I'm blessed because I get to sit kitty corner from his office, so I get to see him quite a bit, and I can always go interact with him whenever I have a question or simply just catch up. So get ready for that because he'll talk a little bit more about the new products that we introduced. So again, just bear with us. We hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. And here is a message from our wonderful friend, Aaron, who is looking forward to accomplish a lot of good things together with you. This is a field-led, driven company, and I can tell you that that's what we're going to be running by. Aaron truly wants us to live by that, and now it's time to bring him on. Now, Michael, I'm just going to go ahead and share that PowerPoint that I have here in just a second. For some reason, it's not giving me the option to share. Let me just try again. And if that doesn't work, then we'll do something else. But give me one moment, please. And I'll try one more time on this Zoom technology. For some reason, it's not showing me the sharing options, Michael, but it's all good.
I can make you the host again, and you can just hand it back later if you like.
Perfect.
Revoke host. No, actually, you're going to have to ask for it because you were the first logger in.
Okay. No worries. So we'll get that started. Everybody get comfortable, and we'll get this ready for you, okay? Give me just 1 second. And I'll see, once in a while we all get caught up in these wonderful technical difficulties, but how embarrassing from my end. What the heck? Let's do something else. Let's go ahead, and we don't want to make you wait. So, and let's respect our wonderful friend, Bert, who's here with us. Let's go ahead and get this going. So what I'll do, Michael, is I'll send this over to you now. And
Okay.
Bert is actually going to kick off with the special message that he has, an analogy he was sharing with us. So we'll do that to make it simple. Bert, welcome to today's call. It's such an honor for us to have you here live, and we don't get to hear enough from you, so this is really a treat for all of us. Welcome, Bert.
The treats for me. I tell you, it doesn't happen very often that they let me out of the back room. So I'm delighted to be involved with everybody tonight. Boy, I tell you, I'm sorry that we didn't have Aaron first because he raises the energy of the conversation by light years. My work is to inform more than to entertain, but I do want to make sure that we're informed. I want to start with something much simpler than what we normally talk through, and that would be the conversation about oxidative stress. We hear about it a lot. We see it a lot. I'd like to try to put a word picture together for you, and it's going to be one of those stories that will evolve, I'm sure, over time. But let's picture every one of our trillion plus cells in our body as a tiny, busy little city. Now, each city has power plants producing energy and factories building proteins and things, and highways carrying supplies, and the delivery trucks moving materials throughout the cell. As part of a normal energy production and as part of the other pieces that are affecting our lives, unstable molecules can be created. Imagine one of the delivery trucks. It's driving along and suddenly loses a tire. That's basically representing an electron for those of us that are more scientific. But because it is unstable, it starts to wobble and then starts to tie up traffic behind it. In a panic, it goes and steals a tire from another truck so it can be whole. And now we have a second truck that is missing its tire or its electron. It in turn steals from another truck. So on and so forth. So we get this chain reaction that goes through the cell. And those electrons can be taken from cell walls. They can be taken from other trucks. They can be taken from the factories. And so you have great, great stress on the cell because it's now not working the way it's supposed to. That is oxidative stress, long and short of it. You hear about free radicals, it's the truck without a tire. So one of the things that we do is that we bring in our glutathione. Imagine glutathione is the rescue truck for the highway. And it comes along, finds a truck that does not have its tire. It replaces the tire, and that damaged truck is able to stabilize and move on. That helps to stop the chain reaction. But after glutathione has given away all of its spare tires, it also needs to be restored. So it returns to the city's warehouse where the body's natural recycling systems reload it, send it back to the highway, and ready to help again. That's the reason that we have both our cysteine and our ascorbic acid in our formulas, so that they can recharge the glutathione, which is in fact recharged and eliminated the free radicals. Now, we will never, ever, ever, ever get away with not having free radicals in our cells. The important distinction with what we are trying to do, we're not simply interested in flooding the body with antioxidants. That's not our role. That's not our technology. That's not what we do. We are interested in supporting the cell's natural redox system, the rescue trucks, the warehouse, the recycling process that allows the city to protect and maintain itself. So what we have in terms of oxidative stress and antioxidant free radical work is that our work with glutathione and the delivery of technology is focused on helping support the natural cellular system so the body can maintain a better balance in the face of oxidative stress. Pure and simple. It's an idea that we probably don't get into very much, but that's where we start. Now, having said that, I put you all to sleep with my story. We'll get into something much, much more exciting. And I'm going to have now, when Serge said that he had some concerns about technology, between Serge and Michael, they have forgotten more than I will ever know on how to handle a Zoom call. So Serge is my image projector. Is that okay, Serge?
Yes, it is. Yeah, let me just make sure I can get it. I may have a little bit of a bad connection, but here we go, Bert.
Well, when you either have the bad connection or have a slow tongue, one of the two or both.
Yeah, no, here we go, Bert. There's your smiling face
God.
ready to go, my friend.
Doesn't that look like just somebody who knows what they're doing? I got my white coat on, and that makes me an expert, guys. You just didn't realize it. I don't have my white coat on tonight. I guess you'll just have to live with it.
It
We
does.
want
It
to
does.
talk. We want to talk about the new products that we introduced at the summit. We introduced a whole new line of products called New Mist, as an oral spray as opposed to a swish. Background of that, of course, is our wonderful friend Ryan, who always wants something new and different and something else he can get involved with. So he gets involved and comes to us and says, "Hey, can we ever put this in a swish?" Well, the answer is yes. And what we've done is that we've taken our simple products where we don't have our big hero products that have lots of ingredients in it. We've taken them and been very, very simple with them. And we've got 3 new ones right now. It consists of literally popping the cap and putting a couple of 3 sprays in your mouth and feeling the difference. We have a New Mist Energy. Now, unlike the energy drinks that have a huge bundle of caffeine, ours is much more conservative, but it's much stronger because we have 3 ingredients, not just the caffeine. Obviously, caffeine. Caffeine is the most most researched stimulant in the human body. And so we have the caffeine, and that usually brings mental awareness and a little bit more acuity to what we're doing. And I'm not sure if we have a separate slide on that one.
We do,
I
Bert.
don't know what you've got now. There you go. That's perfect. It enhanced the mental alertness and focus. It also takes away some of the fatigue feeling and drowsiness. So, but with all of those good things with caffeine, it's a spike. We take it, we go up, and then we crash shortly thereafter. I mean, that's to the benefit of all of the energy drinks out there. They've figured that out. So you'll drink not just one, but 5 during the course of the day. We wanted to do much more with that. And so what we did is that we added L-theanine. L-theanine is an amino acid. You can go one down, one more. Maybe. L-theanine is an amino acid that joins with caffeine, and the best way I can describe it is a smoother. It takes the top edge off of the caffeine, so you don't get the caffeine jitters. So maybe some of you have had that when you've had too many cups of coffee or too many cola drinks or whatever your caffeine fix is, and you get the jitters. Now this takes that spike out of the jitters, but it also lengthens the effect of caffeine so that you don't have the immediate crash. When they're compared, it's basically a calm but alert mental state. We've had opportunity to try these. I got to tell you, I love mine, and it helps every day. Now, the taurine is the last piece, and the last piece supports the first 2 pieces. So we have 3 ingredients. The taurine regulates the cell hydration and electrolyte balance. So some of the fatigue that you get every day, some of the feelings of fatigue, is the body being a little bit sluggish because it doesn't have the right hydration. The taurine helps us to maintain the hydration. So here we've got Neumist, our energy drink. That's the first one. Go ahead, Serge. You get the same thing again. Okay, the next one. We decided to create a relax spray. Now, this is not a sleep spray. This is not one that you take and immediately go to sleep. This one is an unwinder, a calmer, a step back. This is one you use in later evening, even to get a restful night, but it is not designed specifically for sleep. It has 2 ingredients: myoinositol, which is it's a sugar alcohol, and it's found in the brain and in the body, and it plays a key role in signaling. So it tells your body that it can relax. You don't have anything that is now important to do, and it'll takes away some of the anxiety and some of the unfortunate things that keep us awake at night. It supports a calm and balanced mood. The other ingredient in this one is, of course, magnesium. And we've used magnesium citrate. I know, Michael, you might be aware. I know that we have some documentation out there that says magnesium glutamate. We don't have glutamate. We have magnesium citrate. It's about 11 times stronger. So we put that into our formula. So if you come across any of our materials that say magnesium glutamate, oops, our bad. We need to change them, draw our attention to them so we can change them. But it's high absorption magnesium, which calms the nervous system and also reduces the muscle tension. It changes the nature, particularly the smooth muscles, start to relax. It supports a deeper sleep, but it again is not a sleep aid. And it helps you relax in terms of your nervous system. So that's our relax product. So far we've got energy and relax. Our next one is our Neumist immunity. One of the things that we're all faced with is a number of attacks on our immune system. First of all, the immune systems of all of our immune systems have issues. And one of the crazy things is if your immune system isn't good, it's even harder to fight off those things that attack it more. So we have three separate ingredients in this one. We have fucodin. And fucodin is a seaweed product you can bump down that has been used forever. And it is designed so that we do not have it supports the immune system. I see on this slide, and this is interesting because we've gone through these slides a dozen times. I'm going to make another plea. I'm going to change hats. I've now got my legal hat on, and we need to have a conversation about compliance. If we ever get the crossways with compliance, we have major issues. Compliance issues mainly are for us making what we would call medical claims or suggesting that we have an effect on illnesses or other things that our FDA, the EU, and Australia, and a number of other countries have that says you're either a supplement or you're a drug. And as soon as you make medical claims, you consider yourself a drug, and therefore you can no longer be selling supplements, and the whole company gets shut down if we make a mistake here. I've made a mistake on this slide. I want you to know that I am, in fact, more than mortal, and it's more than easy for me to make a mistake because I put in the body of this extensively for its antiviral and anti-inflammatory effects. That could be read easily by the FDA to be a medical claim. We don't want those, guys. So if I could put my finger up and cover that part of that slide, I would do it immediately. Please, 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 please be careful how we generate the conversations on them. Now we'll go to, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Michael, we'll still get done in an hour. I just got sidetracked a little bit. So now the next important issue is our zinc. We've got zinc glutamate in it. And the zinc is an essential mineral, but it's also a mineral that people have concerns over if there's too much of it. You need to know that we have balanced this, and because we can use such a small amount, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, we use such a small amount that the risk of being oversaturated with zinc is nil. And it's critical, again, for the signaling of the body to say, send me more warriors to fight this infection or fight this cold or whatever it might be. And so we've got that in our immunity product. And the final thing that we have in our immunity product is an ingredient called aberganoglactin. And if you don't think that's hard for me to say, read it and go ahead and try to pronounce it yourselves. Again, it's an ingredient that comes from larch trees, of all things. Larch trees don't grow native in Utah. So when it came out and I found out it was from larch trees, I had no idea what kind of a tree that was. But they've used the sap and leaves of that tree forever in helping support healthy bodies. So now we've got three new mist products. They're fun. I saw a couple of you had them. They're easy to carry. They're easy to put in a purse or in a pocket. And we hope that those three are just the beginning of more that would be like that. Then, of course, we have our hero products. We call our hero products because they're those that you take and swish for 30 seconds or 60 seconds, or some of you swish for 5 minutes. Everybody's got their own routine. But you swish it in your mouth before you swallow it, and it gets through the cheeks and the gums to be able to enter the bloodstream much, much faster. We have had our HERS formula for quite a while in the US. We have now been able to change the whole side of it so that it is now globally compliant and it is available in markets outside North America. We got 4 different journeys, if we can call it, from every woman, from an active cycle all the way through post-menopause. And each of those different stages have different issues. You may have hot flashes in menopause. Well, that doesn't happen as much as mood swings with PMS when you're active. We've designed a product that has 13 ingredients. It's one of our largest group of ingredients, or one of our largest formulas, in order to provide those things that can add to and help support the things that you need in each part of your voyage, if I can call it that. We've got maca root and chasteberry and ginger, lemon balm, saffron. I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to mention it for saffron. Saffron's probably one of the most expensive ingredients that you can put into anything. It's gathered by taking just the parts of the saffron flower, and that's what they harvest, and then it gets reduced to powder. It's been used in cooking to flavor, but saffron itself is a mood and emotional. It supports both mood and emotional well-being, but it's extremely expensive. Because of our hydrostat process, we use so little that we can get by using what I would call exotic or premium products. This is an exotic premium ingredient. We've got our red clover, our denianin, our glutathione, our cysteine, our magnesium citrate, vitamin B, vitamin B12, and calcium ascorbate. By the way, our vitamin B12 is methylcobalamin. It's methyl, not. I can't talk tonight. I'm going to give that one up. Methylcobalamin. These are the things that we see that she'll feel: hormone harmony, mood and calm, restful sleep, energy and vitality, comfort and ease. And we've had a number of those that have been taking this that people will say, "Oh, you look radiant because you've got glowing skin." It's interesting when you combine good ingredients and deliver them in such a way that the body can use them, what visible changes you can see in the body. Our 5th and final ingredient or formula. Oh, good. We got a deep dive. Go back and look at that when you have a chance. We won't do it right now. That is a slide that you may want to have because it goes through each one of the specific ingredients and how it helps. That may be a quick cheat sheet if you're trying to explain it to somebody else. Okay, let's go on. The 5th and final product that we put together is our NutraSwish Extra Strength. NutraSwish is not new for any of you unless you're brand new to the call. NutraSwish has been our flagship product since we got started. And every day, one of my jobs is to make sure whatever product we already have and whatever products we may want to deliver are the best products to help people around us. So our NutraSwish has been around forever, but what has happened over the years is that we've gotten to the point where we've had people come back and say, "Cal, can I take it twice? Can I do this with it? Can I do that with it?" And we have started. We have a PRP, a professional resellers program in the States that has a clinical set of products. We made our what is now NutraSwish. We made a Swish product that was stronger than our NutraSwish for that project, and we looked at it. And we had such great responses. Steve and everybody else came back to me and said, "Let's put it in our regular product." So the Neumi product, the NutraSwish that you guys have already been using and are very familiar with, has now got a major upgrade. We've upgraded the amount of glutathione and cysteine and just under 50%, 48.4, 48.5% with more ingredients. That gives you a longer, stronger use of the same product that we're using right now. It will become the flagship. It is, I shouldn't say become, it is the flagship. One of the other things, and this was kind of one of those happy accidents, in order for us to use the name NutraSwish in the EU, they said, well, you can't do that unless you can show that you have nutrition or nutritional supplement or piece of ingredients in your supplements. So our answer to that one was to increase the calcium ascorbate, which increases the vitamin C. So the NutraSwish is now nutritious because it has a level of vitamin C that is recognized by the EU as well as the US as having nutrition, and the label's changed and all the rest. So this NutraSwish, the extra strength NutraSwish, is by far the best product that we could possibly bring you. So those were the 5 products that we introduced at at the meeting, and we hope that you will all have an opportunity to use them, to try them, to be involved with them. We certainly love them, and we know that you are continually our best litmus tests. You're the best feedback we can get. Because our sprays are new, we would love to have feedback. We'd love to have good and bad feedback. If it's bad, talk to Sergio. If it's good, talk to me. No, we just want to make sure that we have a chance to do the things that are right. Do we make every right? Has every formula worked for us? No. Has every formula been interesting to work on? Yes. I'm absolutely sure that you'll see a difference. The 3 sprays are quite honestly experiential. You'll notice the energy spray much quicker than most. And so I think it's something that you'll enjoy. I don't know that I have anything else to tell you tonight. I'm just delighted to have a chance to see everybody live and be involved and see faces that I saw just last month.
Well, Bert, well, we appreciate you, and it's really an honor to have you be part of this wonderful movement. I truly do appreciate all the hard work you put in, because especially as we were working towards Summit, you were with your lab coat every day, in and out, early hours, late hours. And just like I hinted in the beginning of this call, we're already sitting in the boardroom talking about the next things we're going to accomplish while keeping up the momentum of everything we introduced recently. So thanks, Bert. It's a treat, and look forward for some future invitations, because we want to get some deeper dive on a few things that you talked about today. So I appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow, my friend. All right. Well, thank you, Bert. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share with you Aaron's pre-recorded message to you. He's just going to cover what he discussed to kick off Summit, and you will see him next week along with Ryan. So plan on connecting next Wednesday. We will have a special call. It will be twice, just like today. It's our onboarding call, but it's one you won't want to miss, especially now as we have a lot going on with our enhancements that are in place and some additional promos. So here we go. And just bear with me, and we are on our way.
Well, thank you, Sergio, and for everybody on the call today. We thank you for being a part of this incredible movement called Neumi. What I was expecting today, and just something that I was excited about doing, was just going over a little bit of the recap of what happened in Barcelona. If you were there, you know that the energy was absolutely off the charts. It was so unbelievable. We had an incredible event. Everybody was excited. Everybody was moved by the presentations, by the content. and mostly by getting together with people in your own community. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that I've been working on, which has been an important part of what we've been trying to do, is really helping people understand that as Neumi goes around the world and helps people understand our movement, our nutrition, our delivery with hydrostat. You're going to hear more about that as we go along. But one of the things that's been very important is for people to get to know the community of Neumi. And one of the areas that I absolutely love, and it's something that we've worked on very aggressively over the years, is to make sure that we have the ability to really create a community that's unsurpassed, that nobody has in the industry, that you really haven't felt for years and years and years. And I really want to go back in time, that when we were younger, let's go back 150 years ago even and beyond that, we really spent a lot of time near our houses, near our homes, in our communities. Your banking, your schooling, your church, all of those things were within about a 4 to 6 mile radius. And so if you think about that, that relationship was around this area, and that's really where you built your social capital. It's really where you kind of structured yourself, and people felt confident. They felt comfortable. They wanted to get to know you, your family. It started really helping people understand the type of house you lived in, the type of cars you drove, the type of family you had. Did you go to church on Sundays, et cetera? And so those were kind of the litmus tests, if you will, of this relationship of us in our communities. And then, of course, what happened over the years and years and years, and as time went on, the world got a little bit bigger, and people were able to start traveling and becoming a little bit more expansive. And so you were traveling outside of your radius, if you will, and you were starting to get to know the world on a different level. And so as automobiles became a little bit more accessible, and you were able to get around on trains, and then the airplanes came along, and so pretty soon people were getting around the world. And so that world that became much more expansive, if you will, all of a sudden, as we got into social media and we got more connected with our phones, as everybody knows, we've got these incredible phones, the world started shrinking. And so as the world, this big, big, big world, started to become even smaller, what we realized is that we became the most connected generation in history and the loneliest. Why? Because we had connected devices, but we were disconnected in our lives. We were all paying attention and focusing on a screen in front of us versus really spending time and getting to know the community around us. Well, what ended up happening is that we had the opportunity to really get to know the people around us. And so obviously, as we continue to learn and grow and understand the world around us, we were able to get to know, again, through devices and through phones, we were able to get to know people on social media. We were able to get to know people on calls just like this on Zoom. And it gave us an understanding and a better reality of really what we were seeing. But the problem was that what we were seeing and what our expectations were, it was ruining what we would consider to be our fulfillment in life, the joy that we were able to get, or give even. And so ultimately that relationship started to change. And as that started to change, we really felt like we could get back to getting connected and really get back to, again, that social capital that we were able to, again, engage with years and years and years ago was now coming back. And so I always tell people, make sure you're cautious of what you put on social media now, because ultimately that's your social capital. And that's really what people are seeing. And so when it comes to Neumi, we're building those real connections around the world and that trust that people feel in a very disconnected world. And that was one of the reasons why we were so excited to have the event in Barcelona, this live event where everybody was able to come back together to get to know each other and to really squeeze each other, and those, tactile relationships that we have, that tangible relationship, that's what we wanted people to understand. And so when we got to Neumi, we knew that we had some incredible things that were happening, but it really started with the first of the year. We had these incredible meetings in 2026 where we really kicked off these, ultimately the New Year's kickoff meetings. And when I say that, you're really talking about 500 plus meetings. Originally, we said, what's our goal? What do we want to accomplish with these meetings that are going to happen around the world? Well, our goal was to have 100 meetings. You guys absolutely blew that number up. It became immaterial. You had over 500 meetings around the world. So as our 74 countries that are active, we had people all over the world that were getting excited. We had people that won the team challenge, if you will. Again, Italy, Poland, Kazakhstan, new market Kazakhstan popped in and literally took over the team challenge. And so recognize that as we continue to see this massive exposure worldwide, again, we were seeing people recognized that they were actually building their social capital, and that social capital was spreading. And so people were starting to get to know people in other parts of the world. And so ultimately, we started to see different parts of the world start to pop up. And I had a chance, of course, during the first parts of the year, to travel over to Asia. And so I was in Japan and I was in Indonesia, getting to know different people and really spending time. We were spending time in Europe. I was been now in Europe 3 times this year already, running around Europe. The last time was with Steve before Barcelona was in May, and Steve and I hit 5 countries. It was amazing to get out and see these countries and to be able to see Steve in action and to be able to spend time with the people. But again, it was a matter of us getting out and spending that live time and getting to know people on a whole different level. And so that was really what it did, was it opened our eyes up and it gave us a better understanding of where we were going as we continued to move forward. Also, looking at somebody like a Chris Fowler. Chris has been unbelievable as our COO, but making sure that as we continue to grow, and as I always say, I want to stay in front of you. Sometimes we find that we're a little bit behind you. And so we're always trying to run and catch up with those countries that are running really, really fast. Good example is Italy. Italy has just run so fast that we're trying to do everything we can to make sure that we're staying close to them. But the fact is that as we continue to grow around the world, we continue to look at those new markets, the pipelines for those new markets. You're going to hear from Chris a little bit later. He'll talk a little bit about what he looks for in terms of the growth and expansion of Neumi, what it takes to open up a market, what does the due diligence phase look like, and then what do we need is the most important side of this. How do we get in there, and what does it take for us to actually open up the doors, and can we become successful there? Well, with your help, we know we can, but it gives us a lot of determination if we know that we've got great intention from the leadership in the field. The other one is to make sure that we're labeling our products correctly for the markets that we're in. And that's one thing that Chris and his team have done so great. And again, Chris always talks about what's around the corner. It's something that we look at. And I always tell people, we have this incredible executive team that's part of how do I know what's around the corner? Because I can rely on some of these incredible individuals that have the background, the experience, and the knowledge in some of these markets to be able to give us a good indication of what we'll see as we get around the corner. So those are things that you want to look for in your own team as well. What are your teammates doing? What background or experience do they have? And how can they help you as you continue to build this incredible company and your team and your organization with them? Of course, I went around the world and I spent a lot of time on hydrostat. It's really the story that changes everything. It's really the science that gives us the understanding of how we deliver these incredible ingredients right directly into the cell. And that's the key that we wanted to be able to validate. You are going to hear from Steve Scott. If you weren't in Barcelona, if you weren't online streaming, then you're going to hear from Steve Scott tonight. If you're not on one of his breakthrough calls, you're going to hear from Steve tonight because Steve is going to get into the Eurofins study that we had done, and it was absolutely monumental for us. It proved everything that we knew we had. We just wanted to make sure it was on paper. So you're going to hear about that. The product that we used to validate the science was in our NutraSwish Extra Strength. And so when you find out a little bit more about that, I mean, we're talking about 48% increase in our glutathione and over 48% increase in our cysteine. So think about that. Those 2 ingredients alone have literally almost 50% more that we've been able to add into these ingredients. The other one is that we utilized the medical advisory board around the world as we looked at their clients. We had them use the product, and we wanted them to test it on these different individuals to see how it affected them or how it impacted their health and their lives. And that was the feedback that we used. And so we wanted to make sure that as we had the information come back, that we really understood what we had. So again, understanding that as we get into the cell, as we get into the additional products that we're going to talk about today, you're going to learn a lot more about what we can do now that we know what we know. What can't we deliver with our hydrostat technology? I think that's what we're trying to understand and determine right now as well. So again, an incredible amount of information and resources. But as we continue to grow and as we continue to drive this company forward, we have to look at innovation, we have to look at strategy, and we have to look at the infrastructure in order for us to get to that billion-dollar business. So where are we going with it? Well, we know that we've got an incredible new website, we've got an incredible new app, we've got an incredible new comp plan enhancements that have come in. And I always tell people I'm very interested as we continue to rise with the technology. It's not just in technology that's going to drive the field. compensation is always an important factor. So recognize that as we continue to grow as a company, we want to make sure that we're creating the right psychology in the plan to give you the best foot forward to have success in your business and in your organization. So those are all parts and parcel to making sure that what we're doing is going to help us grow this company. Now, the one thing that I want to get everybody excited about is that when we were done with the Barcelona summit, we knew that we had to run out into the world and tell everybody about the incredible movement that we just created at this incredible event. So with that, we have the Diamond Momentum Tour. It's something that's going to be incredible. Get with your incredible leaders in the field. Ask them, when are we going to have a meeting in our market? How many cities can we have in a country that people can come to? How many meetings can we do? How many events can we plan? Because folks, it's up to you in the field. As you saw, when we started the year with our New Year's kickoff, we thought, well, we'll have about 100 meetings. That grew because of you, not because of us. Immediately, you had this incredible adoption idea to go out and really start to build based on these live events again. And that's something that I'm going to push a lot because, again, as we continue to see that social capital grow around the world, what we want to do is bring it back down into localization. We want to see you in your local market. So our goal is to be in front of you as much as we possibly can. So as you know what your year looks like, so final 6 months or 5 months of this year, recognize that we want to find out where you're going to be so that we can be there with you if possible. We're going to send our people out. It's going to be a divide and conquer message. We're going to do everything we can. I'll send Steve one way and I'll go another way. Sergio will go the opposite direction. Ryan will go the opposite direction. We'll have Chris off into the world. So again, doing this will give us the opportunity to really go out and start sharing and be able to really position and help you understand where we're going as we continue to build this company and as we continue to do it with your help, because your leadership in the field is exactly what's going to drive us. Again, we always talk about the three most important factors, and here we are in August. Well, guess what August brings us? It brings us an incredible new opportunity for people to really understand what some of those enhancements are that we've just started to kick off. And so when you think about those enhancements to the plan, to the compensation plan, we've got all of the R's that we need to make sure are filled. So we've got the recruiting, we've got the retention, and we've got the rank. And so one of the areas that we want you to really focus on is utilizing the new plan as far as the power of three. What does that do to continue to scale and build your business? And then as we continue to grow that, where does that take you in your rank? Well, we've got an incredible rank promotion. You're going to hear more from Sergio about that. You're going to hear more from Ryan about that. So as you look at the rank promotion, that gives you an opportunity to really get an additional 5% on your rank bonus. An unbelievable opportunity for you to grow your business, grow your volume. Again, get people working on that new power of three structure, the 3, 6, and 9, giving you the ability to get from $50 to $100 to $250 through retention. So again, we're hitting those R's that are so important: rank, recruiting, retention, the important factors of what are going to drive you into a stable business. That's our goal every single day as we continue to build this company. And again, we can't do it without you. We know we have the incredible leadership in the field. Now it's important for you leaders, to do what your job is, and that is develop your new leaders. So again, we're going to have an incredible movement as we go into August, September, and October, because that's when we're going to see the Diamond Momentum Tour really heating up. And once you start seeing that heat up, you're going to see the calendar start to fill up. Get to those meetings, be in there live, make sure that you're there with your people, make sure that you're there with your prospects, because this is where the energy starts to grow this company. And that momentum is going to help you continue to build and grow and develop your team into an incredible success. So with that being said, Sergio, I want to thank you, and I'll turn it back to you now.
Team. Some of you may know him as Mr. Anton. Anton Gary is a wonderful man. He's a pleasure to work with. He works very hard. You see him on and off, but he's extremely busy behind the scenes. He's one of the executives that makes this beautiful marketing experience for you with assets, with
Sergio, it's silent at our end. I'm not sure if you've lost connection. Bear with us, everybody. Maybe a technical glitch just for a moment. Sergio, calling all Sergios. Come in, Sergio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure what's going on. So just in case, I'm just going to stop this screen share and we will have to catch up to that particular part once we can. Give me 1 second and we'll wrap up today's event. I'm not sure where Sergio just disappeared to. Technical hitches. What a great event today. I'm sure everyone would actually agree with that. So much content. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Aaron. I know a lot of work went into making sure we could relay all that information to you. A couple of quick things. Number one, the Australia-New Zealand warehouse, the orders for the summit will be going out next off from Monday onwards, just so everyone's broadcasters knows that in the Southern Hemisphere now. Australia, New Zealand start shipping next week from Monday onwards. Also, to all of our testimonial gatherers, and there's a few in different languages around the world, we often have you submit testimonials to us and we put them into a standard template, which we do have for the new product. So we are really looking for testimonials in many languages. The Romanian team, killing all of you. They have so many testimonials. I've got them on back. I've held them back and said I can't publish them yet because I've got too many of Romanian and we don't want to slant it. So we'd like some English speaking ones and all the other languages, French, Spanish, Polish, you name it. Please, if you could start submitting them to the official channel, Neumi Knew You. When we receive them, we may edit them for you if they're non-compliant, and then we will publish them with the standard templates. So that's in Neumi Knew You, the official Facebook group. So Sergio seems to have disappeared. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone around the world. Hope you enjoyed today's event.